I am Mary Knabe, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Westerville, Ohio in the USA. And today's Make It with Mary Monday is going to feature the Whale of a Time suite from our new annual catalog. And this suite is on pages 94, 95, and 96. You can see it comes with an awesome stamp set as well as a whale punch. I think that's hard for you to see. Here's the whale punch. And we're going to be using this. These two pieces at the bottom were a little puzzling for me, but now I know what they're used for, and I will be showing you that. And then, of course, the Whale Done stamp set, a play on words, and these are sold as a bundle, so you can use the bundle price and save 10% off of each of these products when you use the bundle price. And then we also have an incredible embossing folder called Seabed, which is just filled with wonderful textures of coral and different things you find in the seabed. There's even a couple little starfish in there. So I haven't played with this, but I'm excited to do that later this week. We have some fun Whale of a Time sequins. And they're different colors and they're iridescent, so kind of gives you that shimmery look that you would find in the water. And some of them, the pink ones, are even shaped like shells, seashells. And then we have some awesome designer series paper. And you know me and paper, just love them. All those designer series papers. One side tends to have bigger patterns and prints, and then the other side tends to be more solid, almost giving you more of a background look. I love the turtles. Aren't those cute and so colorful? Now here's one, and you can even, it's got some of the reeds and things hanging down, but also growing up. I suppose you could even cut that and flip that around. The little crabs in here. Some whales. And I always think of whales as blue when, you know, even with a kid crafting or coloring or whatever. But I love that they're also using Pretty Peacock and Blackberry Bliss in here. And this is another one of those scene sheets that you could cut. Here's more turtles. These are darling. Is it a school of turtles? Is that right? I can't remember. Some foliage. Looks like bubbles in the water. I love that with the light shining down into the water. Okay, and then there's two more patterns which I have used. One of which I've used and one I will be using with you. Good morning, Patricia, and who else is here? Roz. Hi, Rosie. If you would click share, I would appreciate it greatly. That helps me reach more people and improves my Facebook algorithm so that Facebook sends more people who are interested in stamping and paper crafting to me. So here's the sample for the Make It with Mary Monday. I realized one thing I did wrong was I made this a little bit too long because now it's difficult for me to open that card. Kind of flips that up, but no worries. I was thinking after I finished that some little of the Whale of a Time sequins would be really cute on there, add a little bit of sparkle and shimmer. So today I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's very simple, and it's a fun fold card. It's non-traditional, okay? But it is the same size as a standard card, 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it does fit in our standard A2 size envelopes. So I said that you would need, not doing a lot of stamping, but I am going to put that there because this is a photopolymer set. So I said that you would need a piece of cardstock measuring 5 1/4 inches, no, 5.5 by 4 1/4. 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, because I want my finished piece to be the same size as a standard card base that's folded in half. Then you need some designer series paper to coordinate, which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then you need another piece of cardstock, the same color as the first one, which is 4 1/4 by 3 inches. Okay, and you can see this covers up a lot of the designer series paper, so that may help you determine which designer series paper you actually want to use, or even your placement of it. And I've even made some of these where I cut this piece and the basic card down a little bit more, depending on that. Okay, but this one I'm going to make as is. And then you'll need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/2. And on this piece, 4 1/2, 4 by 5 1/2, you do need to score it in half at 2 3/4. And that's what forms the mini card. Now this is a piece that was just left over from what I cut off the bottom here. No, actually I cut off the top. I cut off the top because I didn't want to take away all this color here. So this paper is 6 by 6, so I cut it 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So I have this 3/4 inch strip left, and I thought I might be able to do something with this. I'm not sure what just yet. Okay. So I am going to, and then I have some extra pieces, coordinating colors for punching. The first thing I'm going to do is punch my whale. Now in this first card, I actually stamped it and then punched. Okay, stamped and then punched. But you don't always have to stamp first. You can just punch it. And I am going to punch this whale, just like that. And then when you're punching the whale, you get some of these other pieces. Now I didn't go in all the way with this. Had I would have also gotten these 2 pieces punched. But let me show you what these are. This is like the water spout that would be coming out of the whale's blowhole when he breathes. And I will show you on here too. On the whale here, the stamp is created so you get varying degrees of the stamp ink. Get different tones with the ink with one stamping. And there's also just a little white mark there, which I thought was an imperfection on my stamp. It's not. It's the whale's blowhole. So you can see where the spout, the water comes out of his blowhole, spouts up in the air. So now I'm going to, and I don't need this big strip here. I want to cut this down a little bit so I'm not wasting so much. Which I don't know if there's a good way for me not to waste so much. Well, maybe I'll use the whale for something else. But I want these pieces and I want the water. So perhaps later I'll make another whale card. The opposite. All these teeny tiny little pieces. Okay. So I have to think for a second how this goes on here. Here we go. So you have one piece that's kind of like the underbelly of the whale. So I'm going to put that on first. And just a couple dots of multi-purpose glue will do the job. Oops, make sure I get high enough in the screen for you. Okay, just like that. And then this is the little, what do I say, fin flipper that he moves with, okay? And this is going to go right on top. And I still am going to put, whoops, still am going to put this on with multi-purpose glue. You could use it mini dimensional here if you wanted, but I'm just adhering mine with the glue. And it still gives it a sense of being lifted off the whale. Okay. And then I have the water spouts here. Before I add these, the water drops, I do want to do a little bit of stamping. There is, oops, there it is. I already have it out. It's this little thing with dots. I'm just going to put some at the top of the whale to give him a little texture. And while I'm stamping that, I am going to put my whale on a piece of scrap paper. And I'm going to stamp with Pretty Peacock, so it'll be tone on tone here. I'm not going to do a lot, just a little bit. Again, just to give him some texture across the top of the body. I'm not sure how well you can see that. You see it pretty good? So he's pretty much ready to go. Now, I'm going to start putting my card together, and then I'll decide what I want to stamp on the outside of my card and how I want to arrange that whale and what else I want to put there. I have a couple ideas in my head. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is add your designer series paper to that base. And remember, it doesn't fold. This part does not fold. It's just a single layer of cardstock that is 5.5 by 4.25. Okay. Then I'm going to adhere this to the middle. And you can decide, you might want to put it up higher like that. You can have it right in the center and do whatever you want with it, right? Maybe off to the corner like this. That's kind of fun. Or even this way. Ooh, I kind of, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit and do this, because then I see more of the colorful DSP at the bottom. But any way you decide to apply it in any of the corners, to all the way to the top, the bottom, the side, whatever you want to do, because that's what makes it your own. And that's the fun thing about creating. I'm not sure what I want to do with this yet. I'm thinking it's going to go in here. Yep, I think that's what I want. So this is a really simple layout. And sometimes you just want the entire card to be the focal point, not your message inside. Or some people don't like to write message inside a card, so this will work for you. Okay. I have it sticking out just a little bit there, but that's okay. And I think I'm going to trim a little bit off of this card. Need to move my ink pads around a little bit. I'm just going to cut a little bit off of this. Doesn't really matter how much, just so I can see some of that strip showing. So here's one way to add a little more interest, or an alternate design, is just put some DSP, cut a little off the front edge, and expose the DSP even while the card is closed. Okay, I think that's going to look pretty neat. Okay, next thing is, I don't want that whale sitting on all this plain white. So I'm going to set these things aside for now. Bring my Stampin' mat back in. I'll probably need some there we go. I'll need some scrap paper. Okay, so I pulled out from the stamp set, I pulled out this plant, water plant thingy. I don't know what to call it. And I'm just going to stamp some of those. I'm going to do one over here. I think I'll go on the other side as well, but again, I'll bring in some scrap paper so I don't get my Stampin' Pierce mat all messy. And you can vary the length. You can make it grow higher or lower. I'm going to go a little lower on this one, and I'll leave part way in. Okay, now I'm going to stamp off first and then add some plant to it. Just like that. I have this other fun coral in here that I'm going to bring in, and actually I'm going to use the, I think I'm going to go just a little bit more on this. I'm going to stamp off and then go in here a bit. Just want it to get a little higher, carry some of that color up higher. It's looking different than I imagined, but that's me, right? Changing things around midway. Okay. So now I'm going to add some of this coral, and I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss color. This is one of the featured colors in the DSP, in the suite. Put one here, and I'm going to stamp off a few too. Just like that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and then where are my little fish? I don't think I got them out, did I? No. I think these little fish are so cute. Little school of fish. Did anybody have fish growing up? We did occasionally. And of course our kids did, the ones you get at the fair or different things. Ours never lasted too long, except for Andrea had some, I think from, that she got at the community festival, I want to say as a preschooler, and she had them till, or no, kindergartner, that's what it was, because they had fish at school. So she named hers Bubbles, just like the fish at school in her class, kindergarten class. And then she had them, and we even moved them from Ohio to Indiana with us. But that's one of the rare occasions, right? I'm just going to add some of these fish here, and I love this pop of color. This is Calypso Coral I'm using. I'm going to do a little bit more right over here. Okay, that looks awesome to me. Now I'm going to add my whale, and I'm going to leave some room so I can add the water spouting out. Now I think this whale deserves to be on my ink pads, on some dimensionals. I'm going to put a small one on his tail. Oops, grab two. So what are you thinking so far? What part of this suite is your favorite? What part of this suite is your favorite? Is it the whale punch? Is it the paper? And when you do this, you don't want that dimensional showing from the inside. And now to put on the water coming out of his blowhole, I'm just going to use a couple of little dots. And that'll be plenty of glue to hold this in place. And I need one more right here. Whoops, that's a little big, but it'll have to do. Remember, this glue goes a long way. Little goes a long way. I think that should be a little closer. There. Oh, love it. Love it. Okay. What am I missing? Oh, the greeting. So I have this, and I think what I'm going to do is stamp this in the Calypso Coral. Oops, that's my envelope. That's not good. Stamp this in the Calypso Coral. And I wonder if I can cut it. That might be too wide. I'm going to use this to cut it out. And it's not as wide as this, but that's okay. I'm just going to center it between the top and the bottom. Okay. So it'll just be a little narrower than you typically get for that punch, and that works fine. And that is the, I believe it's called the Lovely Label Punch. Or Fancy Label Punch, I can't remember. I always get those names mixed up. And then I'm going to take a piece of this, cut it just like that. I think I'll put my card onto the base first, and then I can see what length to cut that strip of Just Jade cardstock. Okay, I just love this little guy here. And trying to think. I think I'm going to cut it to here. And then I'm going to use my tailored tag punch. Oh, got a little blurry there. Julie, I agree. Your grandson. Oh, yes, this would be a great card for your grandson. I think all children would love this. And I also think, beach lovers would love it as well. I'm going to see if that's sufficient, if that's where I want it. Oh, you know what? We're going to open that up. I'll run into the same problem because I'm going to swing it around here and do it differently. Now that's going to be too long. I'm going to take off a little bit more because I don't want it going beyond the edge of the full card. And I'm going to just put it on with a little glue. You want to be sure your glue is not going beyond the front of the mini card. Oh, this is cute. This is cute. Do you guys talk to yourself like that? Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. I'm not frozen. Darn, I hate when that happens, but you'll be able to go back and watch the video replay. I'm going to put that there. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add some of these sequins. And I think what I'm going to do is just put a few drops of glue where I want the sequins. And you know, after you add sequins, you do want to give, let's see, I need a tool to pick these up. You do want to give those a little bit time to dry so they don't move around too much on you. A little bit hard to pick up. Oh, this one's a shell. So I'm going to put that one right here. Whoops. Not doing so well with my tweezers. These tiny little... Oh, okay, I'm going to have to add more glue. Actually, maybe I should have used glue dots. That might have been a better choice. You know what? I think it is. I'm just going to do this with my finger and put this little shell sequins on a glue dot. Oh yes, this will work much better. See that? And do the same thing over here. So just wiping up those glue spots so they aren't too tacky, and I can go right over them then with my sequins on the glue dots. Yes, this is a much better choice, although there are some super teeny tiny sequins in there. Trying to get some different colors of sequins. Over here. So that adds a little shimmer and sparkle to the card. So what do you all think? What do you all think? Patty, I don't think the sequins really bother them too much. What I would do with this card and what I do with most of my cards is, and I do mail a lot of cards that require the 70-cent postage instead of the 55, and that's okay with me because even when I add that postage into the price of the materials I use to make the card, I'm still well under if I had purchased a card. So I tend not to worry about that too much myself, but a lot of times, and this one isn't real thick, but you know, it does have several dimensionals which pop up. And that is what creates the extra postage. But one thing you can do, what they don't want is a bump, okay? The post office doesn't want to deal with bumps. So a lot of times I'll just do something like this before I stick it in the envelope. And so it's thick, but it doesn't have a bump that's going to get stuck in the machine, okay? And usually I mail them like this and they go through fine. This one is pretty light and it's not that thick. I would say I would put a 55-cent stamp on this one. So it's not so much what the embellishment is, it's just the overall thickness. And if the embellishment would cause it to, the envelope to get stuck when it's going through their machines. So I always err on the side of caution. If I'm not sure, I just automatically put the 70-cent stamp on. Okay? Would somebody like to win this beautiful card? Anybody? Oh, Kathy says she's going to buy this set. Amy loves anything underwater and the beach. Sequins are key. Boy, we all love bling, right? We all love bling. Okay, if you are still watching, comment the word whale and your name will be entered into a drawing to receive this card. All right. Any questions? Any questions for me about this suite or any other Stampin' Up! Product? No questions today? Okay, be sure and check my blog, especially if you're not on my newsletter. because today I posted a new class to go featuring the Peony Garden Suite, and it's a beautiful, beautiful class. So you can get all the details on that at stampinpiece.com. And if you're interested, email me and I will send you the link to register and pay. Kathy, this is the multi-purpose glue that Stampin' Up! Sells. Okay, multi-purpose glue, and it's $4. And it goes a long, long way. I use this a lot, especially if I'm doing swaps for a Stampin' Up! Event or I'm making large numbers of cards. This is going to be very, very economical for you. Chris says she likes the demo card, this one. Okay, I do too. With this one, I was going for tone on tone, and when I was finishing up, I decided, no, I'm going to add some of that Calypso Coral for a pop of color. But I like this for all the different colors in there. Okay, that is all I have for today. I will be doing a Facebook Live tomorrow, but the time is changed from 7 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. to 4 p.m. And that will be on Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe tomorrow. The question, Amy wants to know, what are the colors I used? It is Pretty Peacock, Just Jade, and for cardstock. And then the ink pads were Calypso Coral, Blackberry Bliss, and Pretty Peacock. I can tell you the names of the colors in this. There's a lot of colors in this. Balmy Blue, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, that's our new yellow, Calypso Coral, Granny Apple Green, that's the real bright green there, Just Jade, Pacific Point, that's what I used on this card, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce, and Whisper White, of course. Okay? But I'm sure, I like to start with DSP, and that's where I tend to grab my color combinations from. All right? You can always go outside of that a little bit and make it work. It'll be awesome. Okay. I would love to see the cards you make based on today's Make It With Mary Monday card sketch and materials used. Yes, Kathy, on all of our designer series paper, if you look at the label, I'll show you another one here. If you look at the label, it'll have the name of the stamp set, and then it will tell you the colors. In that small print, it will tell you the colors that are used on that designer series paper. So that's always a good starting point for color combinations. Any more questions? To those of you who jumped on late, I'm sorry you missed it, but no problem, because this video will be saved to this site. So all you have to do is come back to Stampin' Piece VIP group, and you can look under today's post, June 22nd, or you can look, you can click videos on that site, and on this site, and all of my Facebook Live videos will come up, and you can watch the replays at any time. All right, so I will see you tomorrow on my business page, not here. I'll be on my business page at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe. All righty. Oh, Joan, you ordered it. Wonderful. Julie, I totally agree. Stampin' Up! Makes it easy for us to know what color cardstock to work with the DSP. And all those little things just add to our enjoyment, because they eliminate the frustration and stress of trying to coordinate colors and all that. All right, have a great day. I hope this Make It With Mary Monday has helped you start off your week on a fun and happy note. Take care. See you soon.